Hi, this is Karen. And if you have a stakeholder page on your website, once the session ends, and maybe your session is already over, you might want to change how it is sorted so that to summarize what happened during the year for your members, instead of maybe having it sorted with the newest actions on the top, maybe now you would like to highlight certain bills that were very important to your organization and kind of pin those to the top. So that when people come to look, they'll see those first and they'll get a good summary of what happened during the session and see the most important information at the top. So if you would like to do that, then let's take a look at how. So I have a stakeholder page already set up called Key Bills, and it's just got a bunch of stuff in it, so that's fine. To be able to sort it and highlight certain bills and put them at the top, then what I need to do is add a new column for me to sort on. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my bill sheet templates. And if you don't have that option, then you don't have permission to change the templates, and you'll need to ask your administrator to give you permission. But assuming you do, then you can add a column, and you can either put in, say, a number and actually say what order you want the bills to go in. So you would put in maybe 5, 3, 2, 1 and stick certain bills in a certain order right at the top. Or you might just take the easy way out and just highlight a handful of bills and not worry about the order that they're in once you just have the couple of them at top. All right, so I'm going to do that. And so I just picked a drop down so that I could make my own little category. Notice we now have a multiple select drop down option. So in case you hadn't noticed that before. Okay, so I'm just going to call this focus bills and say these are the bills that, my organization focused on this year. And I'm going to give myself just one option in my drop down list, focus. And the reason I'm making it a drop down list is so that I don't misspell focus and somehow get things wonky. Again, if you want to completely control what order they're in, you might consider making a column called, for example, priority, and then put numbers in there, and then you can get them in exactly the order you want. But I'm just worried about getting the 3 I cared about the most on the top. So I'm just going to pick focus. All right. So I'm going to do that. And now I'm going to go to my template that I've already made for summarizing these bills. And I'm going to come down here and add my focus column and make it visible. Pull that up. All right, so I'm going to leave it last, but I'm going to sort that descending so that anything that has focus chosen will go to the top and all the rest of the bills will be under that. Now notice I've also picked pinned. So I've pinned the state code and the bill ID. I will talk about that here in a second. But all right, so I have added my new column and said descending. Now, because you have to do it descending, remember that so that if you do the priority, it's got to be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So you've got to put the biggest number at the top when you do descending. So put the most important bill as the biggest number. Okay, so I'm going to save this change. So now if I go to my, actually I need to go, the stakeholder page is based on my newborn bill sheet. So I need to actually enter the data on the bill sheet itself. Okay, so this is those bills. So I'm going to change this template to use focus as well. Alrighty. So now I've got that new column here. I've got this focus bills. So I can pick the ones that I cared the most about. So this one was really important to me. I'm going to say that was focus. And then this one here was really important to me. So I'm going to call that one as a focus bill. And then this bill was important even though I didn't actually pick a position on it. I still want everybody to see what's going on with this specific bill. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and leave that. So now if I close this and open it again, my newborn, because I set that sort, these focus bills are now at the top. So those are always going to show up first. You can still change the sort and you can still interact with it. It'll just come up with those most important bills already stuck at the top. All right, so now if I go to my stakeholder page, of course, I will see the exact same thing. And I will see which ones were the focus bills and what happened with them, like where, how far they got. This one got vetoed. These two are still moving, so I might not want to make this change for a little bit, but now I've got my most important bills at the top. And again, if I wanted to put them in a certain order, I can make this a number, or I can just as bills become important to me, I can throw them into that focus group and then they'll just always show up at the top. People who come can still sort and see, which ones we took a position on or which ones are past, but they can also sort on focus and see which ones were the very most important to me. All right. Now, one more thing I want to mention is the pinned. In case you haven't noticed that option before in the template, that just makes it so that if I scroll this, these columns stay put. So that can be useful if you have a lot of columns or you've made them very wide, so that when people scroll, they'll still know which bill is which is especially important on the phone. So if you expect people to be looking at this on their phone, then by pinning that bill number to the beginning, that really makes it easier when you're scrolling sideways, as you can still tell which bill is which. So I just wanted to highlight that feature too, as long as we were here. All right, so that's how you do it. You simply add a new column. It could be a number, it could be text, and then set that as your sort. And if you set it descending, then anything that is filled in will show up at the top. Anything that is not filled in will show up below that. All right, so that is how you can summarize for your members what happened this year that was the most important and stick that right at the top. I hope that's helpful. Bye.